Hi. Italy recently passed a new femicide law. The law was voted for unanimously and defines femicide as killing of a woman motivated by discrimination or hatred based on her gender or aimed at repressing her rights and freedoms. The punishment is life imprisonment. The law also provides for harsher punishments for the crimes of personal abuse, stalking, sexual violence, and revenge porn, among others. But homicide is already a crime in Italy. Italians could have simply raised the punishment for homicide if they felt that the law is not sufficiently punishing the act. But that would take away the main motive of forming the law. What the law does is it creates a special class of crimes so that the operations, standard of evidence, and punishment may be at odds with the other crimes and do not form the basis or standard in other judgments. And the list of what is necessary factor for a homicide against a woman to be considered femicide is vast. When the act is committed as an act of hatred or discrimination or prevarication or as an act of control or possession or domination as a woman or in relation to the woman's refusal to establish or maintain an emotional relationship or as an act of limitation of her individual freedom. Notice how it covers almost anything that is at odds with feminism as an aggravating factor, which in fact can be immoral actions by women as well, and was passed by supposedly Christian and reactionary party, the far right, and the normie wing as well. In Italy, like almost every other country, the homicide rate is higher for men than for women. In 2023, there were 334 murders, with 117 being of women and 217 being of men. Even with more females as part of population, the men were likely to be killed 1.85 times more than the women. So how one begins to argue for femicide as an exclusive class of homicide that needs special attention? By creating a subclass in homicide, in which women probably suffer worse, and then using that as a means to both create harsher punishments for crime against women and reduce the impact of fact that males are killed at almost twice the rate. This stems from the protective instinct with regards to women that is founded on comparing conditions of women with men and ensuring that women not only get more protection overall, but also in each of the categories and subcategories and subcategories, thus necessarily involving downplaying of crimes against men vis-a-vis women. And that is irrespective of egalitarianism professed by the nation. This makes them blind to almost twice the men being killed, because that does not make them feel as bad as the killing of a single woman. The Christian idea of protecting the woman always raises the question: if women must be protected because violence is wrong and all life is precious, or weak need to be protected more, then they could just replace the woman with that broader class. Of course, the idea always means against what is not women, which is men. Christians hold that men's death or killing is not as bad as that of women. And one must ask, is that not an evil belief to hold? And that belief is foundational to their religion. And the same goes for Italians.